Shabbat Shalom. I just lowered that and now I'm going to have to bring it back down. Shabbat Shalom. It is good to be here this morning. Weather report in Madisonville, Kentucky. It's a nice it's a nice day outside. I guess that's just become a theme. Whenever I say something, it's cold outside, it's nice outside, but today is a beautiful day and we are thankful to be gathered with Yah's people. So we're going to go ahead and start this morning. If you would, let us all stand and turn to Psalms 139. I just love reading. If you don't already do it, there's no time like the present to start just reading the Word. Take some time out to just sit down and read. If you ever do get the opportunity and would like to invest some money, then buy the art scroll. If you have the art scrolls, that's good. They also have separate books out there for each of the books in the Tanakh. So I've been reading Job and the different commentaries that are in that, and it's some good stuff. It's some really good stuff. Talking about Job and talking about his friends, there are different sayings and teachings out there that what his friends said was true. It was true what his friends said, but Yah rebuked the friends because they didn't comfort Job in his time of need. After losing everything, his wife says, curse God and die. Everything's happening to Job. Then his body is afflicted. And then all his friends can do is just correct him and chastise him instead of trying to comfort him. I did. Yeah. Correct him and try to criticize him. So that's where Yah gets them. But there's a lot of good stuff in the things that they say. So, Psalms 139 this morning, and we'll go ahead and just read through all of it, and that's where we're going to start. Psalms 139, verse 1, to the chief singer, a psalm of David. O Yah, you have searched me and known me. You know my sitting down and my rising up. You understand my thought from afar. You spread my path and my lying down, and know well all my ways. For there is not a word on my tongue, but see, O Yah, you know it all. You have closed me in behind and before, and laid your hand upon me. Knowledge too wondrous for me, it is high, I cannot fathom. Where would I go from your ruach? Or where would I flee from your face? If I go up to the Shamayim, you are there. If I make my bed in the grave sea, you are there. I take the wings of the morning, I dwell in the uttermost parts of the sea. There too, your hand would lead me. Your right hand hold me. And if I say darkness shall cover me, then night would be light to me. Even darkness is not dark for you, but night shines as the day. As is darkness, so is light. For you possessed my kidneys, you have covered me in my mother's womb. I gave thanks to you, for I am awesomely and wondrously made. Wondrous are your works, and my being knows it well. My bones were not concealed from you when I was shaped and hidden in a hidden place. Knit together in the depth of the earth, your eyes saw my unformed body, and in your book all of them were written. The days were formed, while none was among them. And how precious are your thoughts to me, O El. How great has been the sum of them. If I should count them, they would be more than the sand. When I wake up, I am still with you. Oh, that you would slay the wicked, O Eloah. Depart from me, therefore, men of bloodshed. They seek against you wickedly. They speak against you wickedly. Bring your enemies to naught. O Yah, do not I hate them who hate you. And do I not loathe those who rise up against you? With a complete hatred I hate them. They have become my enemies. Search me, O El, and know my heart. Try me and know my thoughts, and see if an idolatrous way is in me, and lead me in the way everlasting. Let us lift up our eyes. Yah, thank you for this day that you have given us. Yah, thank you for the hope and the confident expectation that is in your word. You have revealed yourself through your Tanakh, Yah, and proved yourself over and over that you punish the wicked and you reward the righteous, Yah. Those that have turned astray from you unto death, Yah, and those that come unto you, you lead unto life, Yah. We just are so thankful for who you are. We're just humbled before you always. May your word go out and the people know and recognize that there is no one beside you, Yah. You are our El. We are your people. We want to seek that covenant and make that oath to you, Yah, to be faithful because you are faithful to us. We pray that, Yah, you would give us a peace of mind to speak your word clearly unto a people that may not know you, Yah. You are the El. No one compares. Baruch Hashem. Hallelujah. Amen. So basics of Psalms 139 this morning, just thankful. He sees, he knows. He knows where you are. He knows what you're going through. He sees everything in your life. He saw you when you were formed. He's going to see when you're going to die. His eyes are always on you. Psalms 139 verse 1, the chief singer, a psalm of David. Oh, Yah, you have searched me and known me. So you searched everything that I have ever done. You watch over me. You see me. You know me. I really like the thought of Abraham when he's making that covenant with him and he's giving him the circumcision of the covenant in chapter 18. He says, walk before me and be perfect. So always be before me and act mature. Act maturely. So we understand that failure is a part of life, and I think Yah understood that too. You have your children, and when you have a child, some of the hardest things in raising a child is seeing them fail. That's just one of the hardest things, but nevertheless, you have failed in your life as a child to someone else, and they had to experience that also, and you have to figure the things that you have learned through your failures. I feel like I am continuing to say those things to people that are in my life. That life is great when you have good times and you're laughing, but there is just nothing to learn in those times. The times that you learn things that are valuable to you and have worth are the times in your life that are hard. That is where growth is, and that is where achievement is. When we read about the book of Job and we see that, Yah does not test the wicked. He tests the righteous. He tests his people. He challenges his people. Why? Because ultimately he wants to reward the overcomer. That's why he challenges us. I was reading in Job this morning and I thought it was so good because when you see the very beginning of Job, and we'll get into Job 1 where he says that Yah gives and Yah takes away. He sees that aspect in the very beginning when all of his goods are taken. So all of his livestock and his children are gone. That's the first things of his response is Yah gives and Yah takes away. But when his body becomes afflicted, that's when things take a turn. In chapter 3, the very first thing that, it's at the very end of chapter 2, that he says, curse the day that I was born. So the sages, the ones that talk for Torah and Judaism, they say that is the day that he put Job, and Job is recognizing and saying within himself that God gives the outcome of the earth to the constellations. Okay, so people that say that you have horoscopes and all of that and the stars and the moon and all that governs the actions on the earth, that is what Job was doing at that time. He said, curse the day that I was born, not the one who created the day. Okay, so it was the particular day. I thought that was pretty interesting. So, but you can see a turn in Job's faith whenever it comes down to that. And I really do like what Eliphaz says to him. He said, you have helped people, and you've been there for people, and you've encouraged people, and there are people whose knees you have helped to strengthen, and you have done all these things for these people, but now you're not even living by what you preach. He's like, where is your help? So I think that's very interesting because that's the type of person that I am. You help people and you want to encourage people and you want to lift people up and you want to strengthen people. But when you get down in the dumps, where's the things that you tell them? Why don't you tell yourself the things that you tell them? Why don't you encourage yourself in the things that you go through? And there is definitely something that we can learn from that. So, the backstory. Psalms 139, continuing on. So he knows, you know everything about me. You know my sitting down. You know my rising up. You understand my thoughts from afar. You spread my path and my lying down. And know well all my ways. For there is not a word on my tongue, but see, O Yah, you know it all. You know everything about me. And that's the way that a parent is with their child. You have spent X amount of years with your child. You know when they're lying. You know when your child is telling you a fib. You know when there's something wrong with your child. You have observed them your whole life. You know what's up. That's what he's saying. You have seen me my whole life from the very beginning all the way to the end. You are watching over me. You know everything about me, Yah. There is not a word on my tongue, but see, O Yah, you know it all. You have closed me in behind and before and laid your hand upon me. Knowledge too wondrous for me. It is high, I cannot fathom. Where would I go from your Ruach? I really like what he's saying here. There is not a place that you can hide from Yah, but on the other side of that, because that is for the wicked. There is not a place that you can hide from Yah. There is not a thing that Yah sees or does not see that you do. His eyes are always on you. So that is for the wicked. Don't think that you're going to get away with things. But on the other side of that, and I really like what he's explaining here, where can I go from your Ruach? You have led me everywhere I've been. Because that's what he says. Everywhere that I have gone, you have taken me there. Everywhere in my life, you have put me there to serve a purpose. Every person in your life serves a purpose. They say that temporary people leave lasting impressions. And that means that people that stay in your life and then leave in your life teach you things about people that are unfaithful. They teach you things about people that are untrustworthy. They teach you things also. So every person in your life is going to serve a purpose for you in your life. But you just have to see that purpose. So, and laid your hand upon me, knowledge too wondrous for me, it is high, I cannot fathom. Where would I go from your Ruach? So where am I going? Or where would I flee from your face? If I go up to the Shemaim, you are there. If I make my bed in the grave sea, you are there. I take the wings of the morning, I dwell in the uttermost parts of the sea. There too your hand would lead me. Your right hand hold me. There it is. Everywhere I have been in my life, and even places that I probably shouldn't have been or didn't want to be, Yah was there. If I went over here, if I went over there, if I'm up and down and over there, he said, no matter if you're in the sea, if you go to the very middle of the sea, I am there. Where am I going to go from you? There too your hand would lead me. Can we say this morning, no matter where I am in my walk, Yah has placed me there? Now, as we continue on, and I really like the very last few verses, and when we get into that, it's just such a powerful statement. So, your right hand would hold me, and your hand would lead me, verse 10. If I say darkness shall cover me, then night would be light to me. Even darkness is not dark to you, but night shines as the day. As is darkness, so is light. So everything that is happening in your life, Yah has a greater understanding of its purpose for you. Okay? So he's saying, no matter where I'm at, and I feel like I'm in a dark place, he said, you already know. Man, that's good. I didn't get that till just right now. It is light to you when I feel like I'm in a dark place. You see and you know every purpose for my life. That's good. That's for me. Okay? If that's not for you, that's for me. He just revealed that to me. So, if I say darkness shall cover me, then night would be light to me. Even darkness is not dark for you, but night shines as the day. As in darkness, so as in light. For you possess my kidneys. So you know my insides, my inward parts, my feelings, everything that goes on with me. You have covered me in my mother's womb. I give thanks to you. That's what I was going to say about Job. When you see Job in the very beginning, he's just complaining. He's just complaining. He's not complaining to God. There is no direction of his complaint. He's just complaining. So there was a really good thought this morning. Since he was just complaining to the earth, there's a part where Eliphaz is talking, and he says, who is going to hear of the mighty ones your cry? And that mighty ones, of the great ones, he's talking about the angels that bring up your plea to God. And I was like, man. So this is what I was thinking this morning. As I read that, I only want my pleas to be thank you. So every time that an angel comes from God for me, he's hearing thank you. Thank you for what you've done in my life. Thank you for the good that you have given me. Thank you for every challenge. I want my angel to say that to God. And I was like, man, you just humble yourself and you meditate on the things in the Word. So, he continues on. You possess my kidneys, you have covered me in my mother's womb. I give thanks to you, for I am awesomely and wondrously made. Wondrous are your works, and my being knows it well. My bones were not concealed from you when I was shaped in a hidden place, knit together in the depth of the earth. Your eyes saw my unformed body, and in your book all of them were written, the days they were formed, while none was among them. And how precious are your thoughts to me, O El. That is everything. And when we get into Job 5 and 17, it is good that Yah corrects you. It is good that Yah disciplines you. So, how precious are your thoughts to me, O El. How great has been the sum of them. If I should count them, they would be more than the sand. When I wake up, I am still with you. Oh, that you should slay the wicked, O Eloah. Depart from me, therefore, men of bloodshed. They speak against you wickedly. Bring your enemies to naught, to nothing. O Yah, do I not hate them who hate you? And do I not loathe those who rise up against you? And I really think that it's interesting understanding punishing the children to the third and fourth generation. Notice what it says there. Of them that hate me. That's a very important part of that verse. He punishes the third and fourth generation of them that hate me. Okay, so the third and fourth generation that hate God, he's going to punish them. Why? Because they pick up the evil doctrines, the evil teachings, the evil practices that their fathers have done. And you can see that all throughout Tanakh. He said, I have not taught you those things. I didn't teach you to bow down to Baal. I didn't teach you to offer up your children. Those are things that I didn't even think of for you to do. So it's to them that hate him. That's a very important part of that verse. Okay? Depart from me, therefore, men of bloodshed. They speak against you wickedly. Bring your enemies to naught. O Yah, do I not hate them who hate you? And do I not loathe those who rise up against you? With a complete hatred I hate them. They have become my enemies. The very profound statement. It is such a powerful statement. And I want us to be able to say this morning within ourselves. Search me, O El, and know my heart. Okay? Search me, O El, and know my heart. Try me and know my thoughts, and see if any idolatrous way is within me, and lead me in the way everlasting. Can you be able to say this morning that, and I think about this when we have disputes with others, judge me according to my works. Okay, judge me according to what I'm doing. Could you say, judge between us, O God? When you are disputing with somebody? Are you humble enough to be able to say that this morning when you have a dispute? Because that is a very humbling thing to say. A very profound statement is, search me, O El, and know my heart. That search is, let me see if I can find it. Search is kachar. It is search, examine, investigate me, penetrate me, explore me. So I want you to run me through the ringer. Are you bold enough this morning to say that? Search me. It's not search my neighbor. It's not search this person out. It's try me. And I really like how Yah reveals that to us because he brings it home. How many times have you been in a sermon or hearing a teaching and say, wow, it would have been real good if that person was here to hear this? How many times have you done that? Oh, I wish that person was here. That person needed that. Why wasn't that person here to hear that? Every message that you hear is for you and for nobody else. Don't worry about what that person should have heard. Worry about what you need to be hearing. You got to focus on you. And I think Yah also brings that home for us. Talking about Job, he was focused on helping everybody else, but when he was the one that the correction came upon, he didn't help himself. You got to be able to help yourself too. You've got to be able to encourage yourself. You got to be able to take care of yourself. And that's why I think it's so important where he says, love your neighbor as yourself, which the way I understand neighbor, I feel like that neighbor is everyone in the tribe. That's the way I feel about that. Because that's where it's talking about that. Your neighbor is the one who lives next to you. That was everybody that was in Israel. Now, there is another part where it says you shall love the stranger because you were also a stranger in the land of Egypt. And that's a whole nother concept. Okay? So, love your neighbor as yourself. You got to know how to love yourself before you can love your neighbor. And that is a doctrine that is not taught. That is something that people do not teach. You got to respect yourself. You got to love yourself. You got to take care of yourself. I'm not talking about pride and being lifted up against the image of God. I'm not saying that by any means. But what I am saying is you cannot reflect love unto somebody else until you can love yourself. Now, I don't know why y'all wants me to say this, but women, okay? Don't look for a man that's going to make you validate your feelings, okay? And what I mean by that is you have got to have a self-appreciation, okay? There is no man out there that is going to make you appreciate yourself and value yourself. I want you to get that. I don't know why Yah wanted me to say that this morning, but he told me that like 2 days ago. There are people in relationships and people going out looking for relationships for validation. They want somebody to make them feel worthy. And you've got to feel worthy within yourself. You are never going to find a good man until you start loving yourself and taking care of yourself and respecting yourself. And the thing is, when you start doing that, and I've learned that myself, when you start respecting yourself and loving yourself, you attract the right people in your life. You have a little bit better idea of perception in your life on who you're looking for. So why did God want me to say that? I have no idea, but he told me that about 2 days ago. Don't ever look for somebody that will make you feel worthy. You got to feel worthy for yourself, because you'll never find that. You'll always continue to find the wrong people for you. So, we're still in Psalms 139 this morning. So, can we be able to say this morning, search me, O El, and know my heart. So know if I have the right intentions on the things that I do. I do like the lead. I didn't get into that part where he says, verse 10, thereto your hand would lead me. That lead is nachal. It is to lead, your hand would guide me, and this brings it all back home, talking about no matter where you are in your life, Yah is leading you. Transport. You have transported me there. You have brought me from where I was to where I am. Transport, to bring. There's also a definition in there for straighten, and that straighten is not like it was crooked and now it's straight. It's to become narrow. This is the only path that you're on. This is your path, particular for you. I have closed you in, like he just said at the very beginning. So, search me, O El, and know my heart. Are we bold enough this morning to say that? If there's any idolatrous way that's within me, anything that's going to lead me from the truth, anything that's going to lead me from you, anything that's going to lead me from your Torah, any idolatrous way. Search me, O El, and know my heart. Try me. Are you that bold? Test me. Remember, like I said before, Yah only tests the righteous. Why? Because, he doesn't only test the righteous, but the testing of the righteous is because he wants to reward his people. So try me. Test me. What is that try? Examine me. Try me. Prove me to see if I love you. Test me. Put me on trial to see if I really care. Are you that bold this morning for your faith to be tested and tried to see whether you do love Yah with all your heart? Very, very profound statement. Try me and know my thoughts. Do I have the right intentions? Because sometimes we don't have the right intentions on the things that we do. Try me and know my thoughts, and see if any idolatrous way is within me. Is there anything that's trying to lead me from your truth? Trying to lead me from serving you? And that's it. Just Yah. Idolatrous way that is within me. Anything different than Torah. And lead me in the way everlasting. That everlasting is olam. Forever. The way that is forever. So, can we say, no matter where I am in my walk, Yah has placed me here? It is what it is. is such a powerful statement. If we had a title for this message this morning, I did want to just call it acceptance, but I think what I had it as was, do you accept? Do you accept where you are in your life? This is it. This is the hand of Yah for you. Do you accept? So, and this is how he gets it. He gets me with it. So this is what Yah has for you. Do you accept? And let me just go ahead and bring it around. Could it be any other way? Could it be any other way? He has you where you are specifically for a purpose. It could be no other way. It's his way. I believe things happen in our lives that we have control of. But I also believe that there are things in our lives that we have no control of. Events that happen in your life, there's only one thing you really have control of, and that's how you cope with it. That's how you deal with it. That's how you react to it. The patient in spirit is greater than the mighty man who can take a city. Acceptance is just a part of life. It is what it is. That is a very powerful statement. You can't change anybody. People are different. It's just life. That's how it is. So, do you accept? Acceptance. Be able to see things, people, places in your life for what they truly are and not what you want them to be. We talked about before, and I'm going to mention this because I think it's pretty interesting. When you get into a relationship with somebody and you're in a covenant with somebody, you don't love them for their potential because you're loving them for the wrong reasons. You love them for who they are. I don't love you because you could potentially do this and that and be this person. Because if you are loving somebody based on potential, you'll never love the person because that's not who they are. You got to love them for who they are. So that's why we say be able to see things, people, places for what they truly are and not what you want them to be. I saw something that was really good on people who do interviews for jobs. He said, I've gotten really good at doing these interviews and finding someone's default personality. And what that means is everybody has a default personality. It's the personality that you always go back to. Okay? So everybody can put on a smiling face for an interview. Yeah. But just like that. A default personality is being able to see through the smoke and mirrors. This is the personality that someone genuinely is. It's no fakery. There's no mask. You have to look through that to see who the person truly is. It's called a default personality. And this person said, I got pretty good at it. Checking out people, because a lot of people will tell you what you want to hear, but they might be saying something else in the background. So I've had that in my mind. Continuing to think about that. Look for somebody's default personality. Who is that person really? Because over a period of time, you'll find out. You'll eventually find out who that person is once all the smoke and mirrors are gone. So it's called a default personality. But he got good at detecting it early. I'm like, that's cool. So, can you say, try me? Lead me in the way everlasting. Be able to see things, people, places for what they truly are and not what we want them to be. Not an expectation or a potential. Default personality. Notice. All this right here, Psalms 139. You see me when I go here. Even if I went up here, you would see me. You've known everything that I've done, even the words that I speak before they come out of my mouth. Ultimately, this is about, it is what it is. Yah, you got this. This is it, Yah. You have set me here, and I trust in you. This is it. He said, no matter where I am, you have led me. And even if I am in a dark place, I'm going to say that again because that's really good for me. Even if I'm in a dark place, it's light to you. You understand everything that is orchestrated around it for me in your purpose. man, he's just so good. Like, you just can't compare. Just can't compare to Yah. There is nothing that compares to him. It is so great, wondrous beyond all imagination. Man, that's why I love reading the Word, because it's particular to me. It's peculiar. He teaches me things specifically for me out of his Word. I have a very personal relationship with him. I walk with him. He's with me no matter where I go. So, in the book of Job, in the Ark Scroll, it says, Miktav Me Eli Yahu, volume 5, page 455. Every human being is tested. So, I'm going to go back. He does test the righteous in order to reward them. Okay, and the wicked are tested, but the wicked fail the test. Okay, so every human being is tempted. We are tested. When a righteous person overcomes the test, and we can probably all relate to this, the righteous person overcomes the test, the adversary intensifies his efforts to overcome him. The tests become harder and harder, but the person continuously succeeds in repelling them, even though they come to seem as formidable as a mountain. Like, the test is so hard, am I even going to pass this one? And I think, and this would be an odd statement, but everything in your life is a test. It's a testing of your character. It is building you up. It is creating you. It is making you into a new person. Every single event in your life is testing you. So, and the tests get harder and harder. But the harder they get, what happens? The stronger you get. Have you ever passed every single test? No, you don't. You don't pass every single test. But you know what? And that's why I don't like participation trophies. Let's talk about that for a second. Okay? If you have never failed in your life, you have never gotten better in your life. Okay? So, participation trophies aren't helping anybody. Nobody. Does everybody know what a participation trophy is? Okay, a participation trophy is when two kids, showed up pretty much. So you have two groups of children, and they're both playing a game. Whether it's baseball, football, soccer, whatever. Okay? There's no winner. There is no winner. At the very end of it, everybody, thank you for participating, gets a participation trophy. Okay? If you have never lost a game in your life, you have never trained harder to be successful. You have never trained harder to win next time. Losing is good for you. It is. So, you don't pass every test, but next time you study harder. Next time you want to ace the test. Next time you want to beat the next team. There is healthy competition, and I believe in it. I love playing board games. Love board games. I'm not good at Yahtzee. I'm just not good at Yahtzee. Because it's not really a game that you have to have skills in. Unless the skills would be choosing which dice that you want to take out and put in. Which is the same thing like poker. You got to choose which cards. Sometimes you got to hold them. Sometimes you got to fold them. But anyway, you just got to realize when to let go and when to hold on. And that's but that's the only skill that you can have in Yahtzee. So that's maybe why I'm not good at it. But anyway, so I like board games. I like challenges in life because you grow through challenges. You really do. So this is what he says. Although some of them might seem insurmountable, they seem formidable as a mountain. True, they might appear insurmountable. So you can't conquer this. Sometimes you feel like I can't do this. But someone who never lets their guard down can defeat the greatest force. Let me say that again because I kind of stumbled over it. Some who never let their guard down can defeat the greatest force. What is one of the number one Torah instructions? Guard, shamar, protect, preserve. How many times does he say that? Protect my covenant, protect my commands, guard my commands. We've done a message on that about shamar. You do not let your guard down. You have to have formidability. You have to have fortitude. You have to have strength. You have to have patience. You got to be able to continue, perseverance. All those are attributes. You have to have those things in order to guard. If you do not have those, your guard will be let down. So it takes a special person to guard. And if your guard is never let down, you can defeat the greatest force. And then this is the way that he kind of brought it home for us. A recovering alcoholic who fights the urge day after day. It is a constant struggle, but it can be accomplished. It can be. And you might not have issues with alcohol, but we all have our own issues. We all have things that we deal with day in, day out. We all have our own battles. Anger can be an issue for some people. I let my anger get the best of me. That is a constant battle that you have to fight. It is continually before you. But he said, it's possible. And I believe that. And that's where you get the contrast between New Testament, Old Testament doctrine is it's not possible. You can't do it. It is possible. You can do it. Y'all says you can. It is possible. But you've got to put in the effort. Don't let your guard down. Is it all a test? Yah tests the righteous to reward them for their success. Job 1. Remember what the title of this message is. Do you accept? Job 1, and we'll just do 13. I saw a guy who was a comedian, and I'm not even going to say that. Never mind. I'm not even going to say that. We're going to skip over that. Job 1. Job 13. Job 1 and verse 13. And the day came to be when his sons and daughters were eating and drinking wine in the house of their brother, the firstborn. And a messenger came to Job and said, the oxen were plowing and the donkeys feeding alongside them, when Sheba fell upon them and took them away. And they smote the servants with the edge of the sword, and I alone have escaped to inform you. While he was still speaking, another also came and said, the fire of Elohim fell from the Shemaim and burned up the sheep and the servants and consumed them. And I alone have escaped to inform you. While he was still speaking, another also came and said, the Kassadites formed 3 bands and made a raid on the camel and took them away. And they smote their servants with the edge of the sword. And I alone have escaped to inform you. While he was still speaking, another also came and said, your sons and daughters were eating and drinking wine in the house of their brother, the firstborn. And see, a great wind came from the wilderness and struck the 4 corners of the house, and it fell on the young men, and they are dead. And I alone have escaped to inform you. Then Job rose up and tore his robe and shaved his head, and he fell to the ground and did obeisance. And he said, naked I came from my mother's womb, and naked I return there. Yah has given and Yah has taken away. Baruch is the name of Yah. So, that is what the angel brought to Yah at that point in time. Blessed is his name. He gives and he takes away. He accepted it. He accepted it. This is what it is. I can't do anything about it. I can't do anything to change it. It is what it is. And in all this, Job did not sin, nor ascribe wickedness unto Elohim. Acceptance. It is what it is. This is the hand Yah has dealt me. So, you can learn a lot of things from different people. And I believe Yah encourages us to do that. Okay? Just because people do live differently or maybe think differently than you do doesn't mean you can never learn anything from them. Okay? So, acceptance is changing your perspective and perception instead of trying to change others. Okay? Because there's a saying out there that says, imagine how hard it is to change yourself. It's almost near impossible to change somebody else. Okay? So stop trying. Accept it. People are who they are for a reason. Okay? A lot of people's lives have molded them into who they are. Okay? The events in their lives, the effects in their lives. Accept it. That's who they are. Okay? And I've learned that a lot through disc training. Dominant, inspiration, security or stability, and then conscientious people. Everybody is different. Okay, some people are more outgoing. Some people are more reserved. Some people are task-oriented. Some people are people-oriented. We're different. Everybody's different. I am not you. You are not me. Accept it. I'm not going to try to change you for who you are. Don't try to change me for who I am. Embrace who you are. Everybody has strengths and everybody has weaknesses. If there are things that you want to work on, if you want to be more outgoing, challenge yourself to be more outgoing. Talk to the person that you want to talk to. You've got to be that person if that's who you want to be. So it's a challenge. Changing your Acceptance is changing your perspective and perception instead of trying to change others. Ultimately, you are responsible for how you think, not how they think. Acceptance is what is important to you doesn't mean it's important to others. Okay? I like certain things. I like the gym. Okay? I like going to the gym. I like exercising. I like eating well. Sometimes I like sugar. I wish I didn't. That's a fault of mine. Okay? Because of the way that it affects your brain. There are so many downfalls for it. So, that's who I am. If I want to change that, I've got to make the effort. I've got to do it. I can't change you, and I can't change your perspective about it. I can't change your perspective on eating well. I can't change your perspective on exercising, even though you know there are benefits to it. I can't do that. Everybody's different. What is important to you doesn't mean it is important to others. So don't try to press that on them. Acceptance is allowing imperfections to exist in yourself, others, and life. That is acceptance. Allowing imperfections to exist in yourself, others, and in life. Life's not perfect. Things happen. Roll with the punches. Okay? I do like living in Kentucky. I do like the fact that I don't have everything. I do like that. And the reason is because I have to find ways to make it happen. That's just it. That's acceptance. I can accept that. So, acceptance is allowing imperfections to exist. I have imperfections, you have imperfections. I understand that. I accept it. Allowing imperfections to exist in yourself, others, and life. Acceptance is differences are possible and even normal. People are different. It's normal. Okay? So, acceptance is everything is not in your control. You can't control it. Some things you can, some things you can't. Some things you can do things about, some things you can't do things about. That's acceptance. Accept it. Okay? So, when challenges come into your life, accept them for what they are, not what you want them to be. When things come into your life, people, places, events, the most powerful thing that you can say at that time is, it is what it is. Accept it. So, something in your life can control you. Other things cannot. Some things in your life you can control. Other things you cannot. Life is full of curveballs, and this is the way that he said it to me. Life is full of curveballs. Sometimes you swing and miss. Sometimes you hit a home run. Accept it. We are different. Accept that people are different. Respect them for who they are. I'm different than you. I might not be as stout. I's and D's are both leaders. Okay? That's it. The D's lead through force or through being very studious. They're very upright. That's how a D will lead. The I leads through influence. So they are the ones that are the speakers, the talkers. They influence people. They encourage people. I'm a high I. Okay? I'm an encourager. I'm a promoter. I'm a people person. That's who I am. That's the type of person that I am. I don't want to change that. I enjoy who I am. Enjoy who you are. That's who you are. Yah made you specifically that way for a reason. I'm not you. You're not me. I don't want to be you. I want to be me. And I want to be the best me that I can be. I want to challenge myself. I want to grow. I want achievements. I've got achievements that I want in my life. Be you. And don't ever let anybody change who you are. Because it's not them. Be you. Because many people in your life want to change who you are because they might not understand who you are. Let them be them. You be you. We are all different. Accept that. People are different. Respect them for who they are. You can adore somebody because they are strengths in your weaknesses. That's great. That's why I believe Yah puts different people together. Opposites. Because you've got to learn from each other. A very outspoken person, very fast-paced person, might not pay attention to details. Why? Because they're more worried about go, go, go. What's the next thing? Or what's the next thing? So, who do they need in their life? Somebody who's going to reel them in and teach them about details. You might have somebody who has no heart, compassion. You might think they have no feelings. Who do they need in their life? A tender person. To teach them that some things reel them back in. Some things you need to have tenderness about. Yah puts opposites together. Okay? So, we're just going to speak today, y'all. And it's already gone. Anyway, so, people are different. Respect them for who they are. You can love somebody and respect somebody because they have attributes that you do not have. And you can learn from that person because they're different than you. You don't love somebody for who they potentially could be. You accept them for who they are. Leviticus 26. Leviticus 26. And verse 36. 26 and 36. And as for those of you who are left, so this is Yah saying, if you go against me and you rebel, you walk contrary to me, I'm going to punish you. And I think it's 21 times. 7, 7, 7. Okay? I'm going to punish you 7 times, and if you do not turn back, you walk contrary to me, I'm going to punish you another 7 times. And if you continue to walk contrary to me, I'm going to punish you another 7 times. Okay? And if you continue to walk contrary to me, he literally says it, I'm going to walk contrary to you. Okay, you want to walk in opposition against me, I'm going to walk in opposition against you. So, it all boils down to where we are now, Leviticus 26 and verse 36. And as for those who are left, I shall send faintness into their hearts in the lands of their enemies, and the sound of the shaken leaf shall cause them to flee. And they shall flee as though retreating from a sword, and they shall fall when no one pursues. And they shall stumble over one another as from being before a sword when no one pursues. And you shall be unable to stand before your enemies. And you shall perish among the nations, and the land of your enemies shall eat you up. And those of you who are left rot away in their wickedness in your enemies' lands, and also in their father's wickedness rot away with them. So it's generational curses, generational sins. But, so he's saying, after all this, okay, I've already punished you 21 times. But after all this, but if they confess their wickedness and the wickedness of their fathers with their trespasses in which they trespassed against me, and that they have also walked contrary to me. So, Yah, forgive us. Forgive us what we have learned from our forefathers. Forgive us. I'm sorry that we took that upon us and we served idolatry. I apologize, Yah. Forgive us for that. I'm confessing the sins of our fathers. We want to be on the right path now. We want to serve you and only you. I'm sorry for what I have done and how that had not changed in my life. Confess the sins of your fathers. So, but if they confess, that word confess is literally, it's yada. It is to throw out. It's not only, here's my mouth, it's throw it out. Throw out, shout, cast, shoot arrows, confess, bemoan. I'm sorry. Bemoan. Why is that so important? If they confess, they throw out the wickedness They shoot the wickedness and the wickedness of their fathers with their trespasses in which they trespassed against me, and that they have also walked contrary to me. That word contrary is keri. It is in opposition. It is, I'm not going to read that. It looks like constrained. It is encountered. They have encountered opposition. They want to fight against them. Hostile encounter. They have walked contrary. So you tell me to do this, and I ain't going to do that. It has been opposition. They have walked in opposition. They have not done what I asked them to do. You have walked contrary to me in following my covenant. And what I think about the covenant is they made an oath. You agreed. It is what it is. You tell me to do this covenant. I'm going to do it. I make an oath. It is what it is. These are the regulations of the covenant. So, if they confess, if they turn away, if they shoot that wickedness, if they do that, and they confess that they have walked contrary to me, verse 41, and that I have also walked contrary to them. I have walked in opposition against them because they are stubborn and will not listen. I have walked contrary to them and have brought them into the land of their enemies. That's what he said he was going to do. If their uncircumcised heart, that is to be covered over, their covered over heart, is then humbled, and they accept the punishment of their wickedness. There's that word acceptance again. It is what it is. I did this. Nobody else did it. It was me. I can't place it on anybody else. Nobody has taken that from me. If I accept it, that it is what it is. That accepted is ratzah. It is, I am pleased with it. I accept it. It is favorable. What you are going to do to me is just and upright. I accept it. Everything that I've been punished for, I accept it. It's mine. Except I am determined that nobody else made me do that. It was my choice. I'm determined. Nobody made me do it. Nobody's going to take the punishment for it. Me, I'm satisfied. I deserved it. To be pleased, to reconcile, self. It's me. If their uncircumcised heart be humbled to take the cover off of their heart, and they accept the punishment of their wickedness, they are satisfied with it, they are determined. I deserve that. Then I shall remember my covenant with Jacob, and also my covenant with Yitzhak, and also remember my covenant with Abraham, and remember the land. For the land was abandoned by them, and enjoying its Sabaoth, while lying waste without them, and they were paying for their wickedness, because they rejected my right rulings, and because their being loathed my laws. So they loathed them. What does that mean? It's a detestable thing. I love this chapter. I'm in a good mood this morning, y'all. I love this chapter. Isaiah 45. If you never read Isaiah 45, read it today. Let's read it together. Isaiah 45. The whole thing is great. So we're going to read all of it. Isaiah 45. So coming from Leviticus, accept it. It's yours. It's your own. Be determined. Thus said Yah to his anointed, to Koresh, Cyrus, whose right hand I have grasped, to subdue nations before him, and ungird the loins of sovereigns, to open before him the double doors, so that the gates are not shut. So Yah used Cyrus. Okay? Yah used Cyrus. I go up before you and make the crooked places straight. I shatter the gates of bronze and cut down the bars of iron. I shall give you the treasures of darkness and hoarded wealth of secret places, so that you know, Cyrus, that I am Yah, who are calling you by your name. I am the Elohim of Israel. For the sake of Yaakov my servant, and of Israel my chosen, I also call you by your name. I give you a title, though you have not known me. So Yah revealed himself to Cyrus and said, I'm the one that's given you the ability to do this. I'm with you. I am Yah, and there is none else. There are no mighty ones beside me. That means that there is no one who is his equal. It's only Yah. No one beside him. No one like him. I gird you, though you have not known me, so that they know from the rising of the sun and from the west that there is none but me. I am Yah. There is none else. Forming light and creating darkness, making peace and creating evil. I am Yah. I do all these. It's him. Nobody else. Okay? And that evil is trouble, calamity. I am Yah. I create the evil. Okay? I create the calamity. So, if anything has happened in your life that you might not quite be satisfied with, realize it's all Yah. It's all Him. And like I said many times before, and I believe it's a very good teaching, Yah does not fight against the devil. He's not fighting against the devil. If you look throughout Tanakh and you see who Yah fights, who does He fight? Wicked men. Wicked men who want to turn from the truth. That is His enemy. So, okay. I am the one. It is me. There's nobody else. So he's not saying that the devil is doing the evil. The devil isn't making the trouble in your life. I believe that there is adversary and adversity in your life. But if you even look at Job, Yah is the one who controls it. He's the one who suggests it. It's all Yah and nobody else. And even if you look at the adversary and what he said, do you not have a hedge about Job? Why is he serving you for nothing? He's protected. Of course he's not going to curse you because he's taken care of. So he dropped the hedge and he let him in. And Job had things that he had to learn. But it's all Yah. Yah is the one who said, have you considered my servant Job? I am the one who does this. There's no one besides me. There's no one who's going to overcome me. There's no one like me. No one my equal. That's it. It's me. And there's none else. Zero. Forming light and creating darkness, making peace and creating evil. I, Yah, do all these. It's me. Rain down on Shamayim from above and let clouds pour down righteousness. Let the earth open. Let them bring forth deliverance and let righteousness spring up together. I, Yah, have created it. He didn't need any help. It was just me. I, Yah. Woe to him who strives with his maker. So, here's where we have to come and we have to say, accept it. It is what it is. Because of your sin, because of your wickedness, because of rebelling against me, this is coming upon you. Accept it. He said, what does he say here? Accept it, potsherd. Woe to him who strives with his maker, a potsherd with the potsherds of the earth. Does clay to say to him who forms it, what are you making? Or your handiwork say, who has no hands? You don't know what you're doing. And that's the same thing Job said. He believed that he knew better than Yah. I don't deserve this. I am a righteous man. And there's also a teaching, and I really like when Yah tells us something, then it's confirmed, that Yah tested Job's inward faith. Okay, when you take away everything from Job, all of his life, his skin has boils, there's something that's tested within a man. Are you still going to be faithful to him? So, it was a testing of inwardly of Job. Because if you look, chapter 3, the very first thing is, curse the day that I was born. He automatically changes. He did not trust that Yah knew what he was doing. So, continues on. Woe to him who strives with his maker. A potsherd with the potsherds of the earth. Does clay say to him who forms it, why are you making? Or your handiwork says, he has no hands. Or you don't even know what you're doing. Woe to him who says to his father, what are you bringing forth? Or to the woman, what are you laboring over? Thus said Yah, the set apart one of Israel and his maker, do you ask me about my sons, what is to come? And about the work of my hands, do you command me? I have made the earth and created man on it. My hands have stretched out the Shamayim, and all their hosts I have commanded. It was Yah. I did it. No help. I did it. I stretched out the heavens. It was me. I created. I have made the earth and created man on it. My hands, nobody else's hands. My hands have stretched out the Shamayim and all their host I have commanded. I have stirred him up in righteousness, and all his ways I make straight. He builds my city, Cyrus, and lets my exiles go, not for price nor reward, declares Yah of hosts. Thus said Yah, the labor of Mitzrayim and merchandise of Cush and the Sebaites, Men of size come over to you, and they are yours. They walk behind you, they come over in chains, and they bow down to you. They make supplication to you, saying, indeed, El is in you, and there is none else, no mighty one. Truly you are El, who hide yourself, O Elohim of Israel, Savior. They shall be put to shame and even humiliated, all of them. The makers of idols shall go away together in humiliation. Israel shall be saved by Yah with an everlasting deliverance. You are not to be ashamed nor hurt forever and ever. I believe that is what is coming up. For thus said Yah, creator of the Shemayim, he is Elohim, no one else, former of the earth and its maker. He established it. He did not create it to be empty, vain. He did not create it for no purpose. He formed it to be inhabited. I am Yah, and there is none else. I have not spoken in secret in a dark place of the earth. I have not said to the seed of Jacob, seek me in vain. I am Yah, speaking righteousness, declaring matters that are straight. So seek him. There's a purpose in it. He didn't create the earth for no reason. He created it to be inhabited. He created it for his people. Gather yourselves and come, draw near together, you who have escaped from the nations. No knowledge have they who are lifting up the wood, their carved image, and pray to a mighty one that does not save. And we talked about that last week, that when the distress comes upon the whole earth, all the world is going to bow down to their false ones. The false ones will not save, and they are going to turn to Yah. I believe Yah is going to pull out Israel from the four corners of the earth, and they are going to see, here it is all together, they are going to see that Yah saves. Yah saves, and nobody else. Because they're going to cry to their idols. The idols will not save. We're going to cry to Yah. We will be saved, and everyone will see his mighty hand. The other mighty ones that do not save, the end of verse 20. Declare and bring near. Let them even take counsel together. Who has announced this from old? Who has declared it from that time? Is it not I? Yah, and there is no mighty one besides me, a righteous El and a Savior. There is none beside me. No other Savior but Yah. Turn to me and be saved. My favorite verse. Favorite verse, all time. Favorite. Turn to me and be saved, all ye the ends of earth, for I am Yah, and there is none else. Period. Turn to Yah. All the ends of the earth. Everybody. All the nations. Turn to Yah and be saved. Turn to no one else. Only to Yah. I have sworn by myself a word that has gone out of my mouth in righteousness, and it shall not return. So that to me, that has been taken away from him, to me every knee shall bow and every tongue swear. That's ascribed to Yah. Every knee shall bow and every tongue shall swear. One shall say, only in Yah do I have righteousness and strength. He comes to him, and all those displeased with him shall be put to shame. In Yah, all the seed of Israel shall be declared right and boast. Man, I love that chapter. That is such a good chapter. Accept it. It is what it is. What did he say? I form the light, I create darkness, I make peace, and I create trouble. I am Yah. I do all these. That's him. Nobody else. You can't give that power to anybody else. He said, that's mine. I do that. I created the earth. Can y'all tell I'm excited? I'm talking like anyway. So, really fast, like an auctioneer, probably. That's what people have told me before. You should be an auctioneer. But anyway, so it's nobody else. I'm excited to proclaim him. That's why. Because there's no one like him. Nobody will save you but Yah. So, accept it. He does these things. It is what it is, not always what you want it to be. I believe Yah works in a way to where we see just how much he is in control. I believe that. How much control that you do not have in the ways that he shows you that he has power. I believe Yah works in a way to where we see just how much he is in control and how we are not in control. He shows us who we are before him, dust. Accept it. He knows what is best for your life. And like I said before, it is good that Yah corrects his people. It is good that he disciplines his people. It is good that he cares enough about you for you to grow and to achieve. We're going to end it with Job 5. Job 5 and 17. So let's see what his name really is. Eliphaz. That's what I thought, the Temanite. So this is the one who's speaking now. And like we said before, they do agree that everything that they said was true, but how they were corrected because they did not comfort Job. In a time that he needed to be comforted and needed to be consoled, all they did was criticize him. So we can learn something from that. Job 5 and 17, and I love it. Look, Baruch is the man whom Eloah reproves. He disciplines him, he corrects him. So do not despise the discipline of El Shaddai, so Almighty God. For he bruises, and he binds up. He smites, but his hand heals. It's all him. Every bit of it. He knows what he's doing with your life. Continuing on. He bruises, he binds up, he smites, and his hand heals. In 6 distresses he delivers you, and in the 7th no evil strikes you. So out of all these 6 things, the very end of it, he gives you the strength to take it on, where it doesn't bother you anymore. In scarcity of food he shall redeem you from death, and in battle from the power of the sword. So through your correction, through the bad times, it prepares you for the next time. That's what he said, 6 times, and on the 7th, you're okay. And then he said, after that, you shall learn these things. In scarcity of food, he shall redeem you. You understand that it's all him. So when the food runs out, who's going to take care of you? That's what he's telling you, to trust in him in all things. So, in scarcity of food, he shall redeem you from death, and in battle from the power of the sword. He's showing you the 6 times before he's taken care of you and delivered you. The 7th time you understand he's got it covered. When the tongue scourges, you are shielded, and you have no fear when destruction comes. You just accept it. Here I am. You accept it. At destruction and at starvation, you laugh. And you have no fear of the beasts of the earth. Why? Because you see, the 6 times he took care of me, this is the 7th time he's not going to leave me. For your covenant is with the stones of the field, and the beasts of the field shall be at peace with you. And you shall know that your tent is in peace, and shall visit your tent and not sin. And shall know that your seed are many, and your offspring like the grass of the earth. You shall come to the grave in ripe old age, like the stacking of grain in its season. Look, this we have searched out. It is so. Hear it and know for yourself. Try it. Test it. See if it's true. Very much so. So, accept it. Accept it. It is what it is. There are things in your life that you just cannot change. I do like the way that Job saw that. Once it was all finished and everything was done, Job just said, Yah gives and Yah takes away. He did it. What can I do now since it has already happened? And even up in his life, he was making the sacrifices for his kids. Accept it. It is what it is. Your life will change when you realize that it's Yah who is in control. And he has you specifically where he wants you to serve his purpose. Grow. He wants you to have achievements. He wants you to be successful. He tests you, tries you, because he loves you. Baruch Hashem. Everybody have a blessed day. Shabbat Shalom.